still holding a strong and loyal following today, 11 years after its release. Ultima VII is often regarded as the best RPG ever created. This whole game was seemingly one big innovation at the time, and was designed so differently, with at once huge scale and minute detail. Reading the scores of rave reviews and recommendations can build a picture up in our minds of what to expect, but as post-Diablo gamers often lavish with mini-maps, voice acting and self-sorting inventories, you'll likely find your imagination is quite a way off the mark. There is no tutorial, no quest markers, tooltips or hints, and although the largely mouse-driven game was innovative at the time, it can be an arcane control system for the modern gamer, but with some trial and error you can figure it out. For those used to quest logs and journals, you may find Ultima a tough nut to crack. The story is advanced by talking to NPCs, surprise surprise, but unlike other RPGs, people aren't automatically aware of your quest, or what you want from them. You even have to converse with the shopkeepers and trainers to find out what they have to offer. NPCs and conversations are masterfully crafted. It still rivals today's modern RPGs such as Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Each character has their own distinct personality and background. They are deeply rooted into the world that surrounds them. Conversations are full of inconsequential detail, lore, and the personal stories and perspectives of those you speak to, and you find yourself being drawn into their lives, which only makes the world around you more alive and interesting. Endless time must have been spent crafting the NPCs in the world. If you dig deep enough, every character and item has a reason for being there, and you get the sense that you're in a living, breathing world. This is helped along by the day and night cycles, weather patterns, and the fact that every NPC has their own schedule and scripted behaviour. Stand still long enough and you'll see a town go about its daily life, oblivious to your existence. The world around you is incredibly interactive. If it isn't too heavy or nailed down, you can move, reorganise and stack anything you can see, creating barricades with chairs and tables, or makeshift stairs to reach higher areas. All of this with a simple click and drag mechanic, a huge innovation at the time and rarely implemented to such a full extent today. The inventory system uses the same mechanic, although with much less finesse. Releasing an item over a character in your party will place it in their bag, although hastily thrown is probably a better description. Upon opening your backpack, you are likely to find a mess of items strewn about, often obscuring each other. You really have to dig to find the item you want. In terms of design and flavour, it feels realistic and cool, but in practice it's mostly just infuriating. Moving shields, maps and gold around manually to find the sausages you need because your party is hungry is not how you should be spending your time in game, and this is only exacerbated when you can't remember whose backpack you put the sausages in the first place. Where the world and its inhabitants are incredibly well developed, the combat and party systems by contrast are a bit underwhelming. In little to no time at all, you can have a party of 5 followers, each interesting in their own right, with a personal reason as to why they have joined your cause. You can converse with them at any time, manage their inventory and equipment, but that's about as involving as it gets. Your party doesn't speak to NPCs, and you can't directly control them. It's as if they stop becoming people once they join you, and just follow you around like a faithful dog that occasionally complains of hunger and sleep deprivation. As the Avatar, you are a beacon of light, truth and justice in the world, and everyone has a deep respect for you as a force for good. This raises a problem when you get involved in combat. Opponents hit hard and your starting equipment is utterly useless, and the only way, to begin with at least, to get decent loot for your party is to steal it from shops and people's homes. It's kind of awesome that you have the freedom, even though you're the goodie, if you like, to steal and mess around with people's junk, but when you are playing as the embodiment of all that is right, stealing kind of feels incongruous. The combat itself is easily the worst feature of Ultima. Once an enemy approaches, you press C to enter combat mode and direct your party in the general direction of your opponents. Then, you kick back and watch the party blink away at an enemy until one side is victorious. There is literally nothing else to it. It's really frustrating when you've spent so much time and money kitting and training your characters, for them to just clusterfuck around an enemy until something dies. Thankfully, the story is a bit more involved. Right off the bat, you are thrown into a murder mystery case and given the free rein on how to solve it, finding clues, interviewing witnesses, and piecing together scraps of information. The intrigue only develops from here. The plot grows ever thicker and thicker, but I will leave you to discover what happens and to come to your own conclusions. All in all, an incredible amount of effort has been put into creating a living, breathing world, full of intrigue and secrets to explore, and Ultima's influence runs from classics such as Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, all the way to modern masterpieces like Mass Effect and Dragon Age. A steal at £3.93 from GOG.com, it is more than worth the investment to play in a world as interesting and richly detailed as this. Just don't expect epic battles to feel all that epic. This has been Westloar, over and out.